Hello, everybody. Welcome to our ceremony for the resurrection point. I'm so excited to see all of you there. Someone needs to mute their microphone because there's a lot of traffic sound in the background coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. Of course, yesterday was the resurrection point when the sun and Venus as the sacred feminine met each other in the sky at 29 degrees of Libra. We're going to talk about that point, of course, later on. And if you've worked with me before, you know that 29 degrees of any astrological sign is a mastery point. So that should kind of give you a little hint about how significant this resurrection point is. So we completed our descent journey at this Venus temple in New Orleans. And this is where we are going to begin today. And so following the path that we took coming down the descent journey, we are going to be following that same path back up as we go through the ascent journey, which will begin officially in December. So even though we've got this resurrection point happening, it happens within the middle of the Inanna Underworld journey. And so we will be completing the other half of that journey as Venus starts to make her move where she's going to be rising, and eventually we will see her in the evening sky as the evening star on December 1st. And that indicates when she is now in the ascent phase and the Inanna Underworld journey has completed. So I'm just going to remind you that the temple guardian for this Venus temple in New Orleans is the Golden Hind. But first, I'd like to let you know that we've got some new collaborators with us for this stage of the journey. And I'm going to be introducing them to you one by one. So let me bring up their slides. And when you hear your name, if you can unmute yourself and say hello to everybody so that they can see you, make sure that your video is on so that they can see your face. Of course, we've got Carol with us. She's phenomenal. And if you recall from the newsletter that I sent out after the last temple activation, Yeshua informed us that this next phase after the Inanna Underworld, the ascent phase, is all about the sacred feminine. And so from this point forward, he said he will be present, as will all of the other sacred masculine guides, and that he was asking Carol's permission to allow the sacred feminine to step forward. If you recall from last month's support group, we had the Lady of the Cave speak to us. Today, Isis will be speaking to us through Carol. So I know she's on her way home from work. And so I don't know if she can actually pop in yet and say hello. But I think most of you know who she is, and she will pop in as soon as she gets home and can get settled. The next collaborator that we're going to have with us is Carolina Grace of Heart Led Humanity. And there she is. Caroline, you want to say hi real quick?
Yes, hello.
Somehow we lost your video.
Sorry. Yes, there we go. Start video. That works.
There you are. And so if you've again been following my newsletters, Carolina Grace and I have been starting to have a series of conversations about living a heart-led life. And you can find those conversations on her YouTube channel as well as mine. My YouTube channel is the Rose Wheel Mystery School, and our conversations are on the playlist called Heart-Led Humanity. Her YouTube channel is called Heart-Led Humanity. And so after we complete the ceremonial process, if you'll recall, from the past ceremonies. We have that space called the sharing circle, where everybody gets to contribute their personal experiences during the ceremony. And then Carol will do her channeling of Isis. And when Carol is complete, then Carolina Grace will step in, and based on what's unfolded up to that point, she will have picked something that has caught her attention, her awareness, to prompt us in having a little heart-led conversation around that, just to kind of take us a little deeper in the embodiment of what we're doing today. So we're really thrilled to have Carolina Grace as a collaborator in this project. And you're in England, is that correct, Carolina Grace?
Yes, sorry, I'm so efficient at muting and unmuting. Yes, I am.
She's in England. And so this is just to clarify, you know, we were doing the ceremonies previously at 4 o'clock. This is why we're now doing them at 3 o'clock, because of the time difference. It's much too late. So we're trying to accommodate her. We're trying to accommodate Carol's work schedule. And we're also trying to accommodate our next collaborator. And that is Maria. And she has a site called Heart Song Activation. Maria, are you with us today?
I am with you.
There she is. Say hello to everybody.
Hi everyone, tuning in from the northern part of Sweden, close to the Arctic Circle.
Yes, yes. So this is what Maria is going to be contributing when we are in the actual ceremony. And we have linked up all of the Venus temples. We've brought that light grid online. We've reconnected and reactivated our third strand of DNA between our physical body, our sacred vessels, and our divine template. Before we travel back in our etheric bodies to where you're currently sitting, Maria is going to do a heart-inspired song to further activate and ground everything that we've done in ceremony. So this is her gift, to be able to use her song to do heart activation. So we're really excited to have Maria here as another collaborator. So thank you for joining us. And she's actually in a time zone that's even an hour later than Carolina Grace's. So this is again why we've been trying to find a time that could work for all of us. So now that I've introduced the collaborators, I want to talk to you about the quantum crystal quartz technology that I told you when this Inanna Underworld journey started. I was inspired to incorporate into these activations. Now, you can use a regular piece of quartz, trying to get my camera lined up here, or you can use a Vogel cut crystal quartz, which is what I will be using. So let me just tell you a little bit about this crystal quartz, this Vogel cut crystal quartz. And of course, it does apply as well to a regular quartz crystal. So if you will recall from my teachings previously, we talked about the Christ consciousness, the sacred masculine principle that this upward facing triangle represents, and the Holy Trinity of Christ as Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And I also shared about the sacred feminine principle, this downward facing triangle, the Sophia consciousness and her Holy Trinity, Mother, Daughter, Holy Soul, and reminding you that the Christ and the Sophia are in perpetual sacred union, which is what this Star of David, that's the name that people recognize it as. This star tetrahedron, if you were to see it in a 3D depiction, represents the merging of the Christ with the Sophia, and that the manifestation of their union is this divine love frequency. So what's really phenomenal is that this translates to the quartz crystal. Specifically, I'm going to be speaking to the Vogel crystal. You have this one end, which is the 52-degree end, which aligns with the degree in the Great Pyramid in Egypt. This is what other people that work with these crystals have identified as the yin, or the receptive end, which we of course know to be Sophia, and the 60-degree end that they call the yang end, or the end where the energy flows out of as the Christ. And what happens is where the angles of these two ends meet each other, right there where they cross, there is a sweet spot in the crystal that's called the eye of the crystal, that when you're activating it, actually is your access to the divine love frequency. And this is significant because the structure of the crystal, whether it's a regular quartz crystal or this Vogel cut crystal, they have the structure that aligns with the flower of life structure, which includes this star tetrahedron pattern, which is the foundational structure for everything that is manifested. And so the bridge in the quantum to be able to affect the quantum is the divine love frequency. And I'm going to show you how to activate your crystals in the next slide. But this is important to understand, that as we're setting this intention to do these works with these crystals, the reason we're able to access the quantum and influence the quantum field is because of this divine love frequency that's being activated here at the eye of the crystal. So this is how we're going to do this. The first thing that you have to do is you have to clear your crystal, because of the fact that it will have picked up frequencies, whether it's been lying dormant or from the last time you worked with it. So either way, you want to put a finger on either end, and wherever the facets are, you want to put a finger on each side of the facet. So for instance, with this, with this regular crystal, I have 1, 2, 3, I have 6 facets. So I'm going to do this, and I would do this in a set of 2 pairs, so 3 clearings. This one has 12 facets. I would do 12 clearings. So you're going to hold your fingers here. You're going to put your fingers on a pair that's opposite of each other. You're going to hold the intention that you're clearing. You're going to take a deep inhale. You're going to hold it. You're going to infuse that breath with the thought of clearing. And then you're going to go a real sharp exhale. And you just spin around to the next set and the next set and the next set. And with each set of facets, deep breath in, holding the thought that you're clearing, strong breath out onto the crystal until you've done all of the facets, and that's how you clear. Once you've cleared, you can charge your crystal again, whichever one you're using. And so if you hold it in the palm of your hand and you just kind of squeeze and rotate, squeeze and rotate, squeeze and rotate, what you will start to feel is a kind of stickiness between the crystal surface and your hand. And when you start to feel that stickiness, then you will know that you have charged the crystal. It's ready to work with. And now you want to connect yourself with the crystal. So wherever your middle finger lands on the crystal, as you're holding it, that crosses over that eye of the crystal. And if you just kind of pulse on that location, You're activating the divine frequency. If you hold it in front of your heart chakra as you're pulsing it, you're going to feel how you and the crystal start to become entrained to each other as that divine love frequency is now activated because you've connected with it. And then again, we're going to visualize that we're bringing all of the temples connecting, and then we're going to hold the breath. And as we do that work, then we're going to visualize that we're bringing that light bridge online. So you take the deep breath in, you hold that clear vision or thought, and you put it into your crystal. And then you bridge by allowing yourself to feel, and your left hand is receptive enough. It's going to feel that love frequency, which is the bridge. It's going to feel that as you're moving that crystal, working the quantum. So that's kind of a lot of information to take in. I'm going to stop the share right now, and I'm going to ask, does anybody require any clarification on those steps? Okay, so that's good. All right, so let me share my screen again. So you're going to want to be able to, and I'll give you space before we start the ceremony to clear and charge and connect, so that as we go into, oh, you know what? Did I start the recording? Can anybody tell me, am I recording? Because
Yes, you did.
okay, thanks. So you're going to want to go ahead and clear, charge, and connect so that when we're in the ceremony, you can visualize and bridge. And I'll give you space for that. Okay. So, okay. So someone's telling me it's hard to see as I was sharing the screen. I'm not sure. Let me stop the share. Do you mean in terms of clearing?
I'm not sure if you really restarted the after.
I'm sorry, honey.
I'm not sure if you restarted the recording.
Someone said I did.
I know, but you said I'm returning to my screen. I didn't hear you say.
Yes, she is recording. It's
Okay.
recording.
Okay.
Okay, and then I got a chat message from someone that says it is hard to see you as you're sharing the screen. So, okay, so I got a yes. So again, just to go over it, you've got your fingers on both ends. You hold a set of facets that are opposite each other. Deep breath in, think clear, and you do a hard exhale. You shift it to the next set, you do the same, shift it to the next set, you do the same. Deep breath in, thinking clear. You, what was the next step? Hold on, I got to share so because my mind is like way out. There's so much frequencies coming in, my mind is like, okay, charge. So to charge, you're holding the crystal in your hand and you're squeezing it and rotating it, squeezing it and rotating it. That charges it. And you know it's charged when you start to feel that sticky sensation between the surface of the crystal and your palm of your hand.
Sophia, excuse me, which hand are you, I don't know what your screen is, left or right. So what hand are you doing what in, left or right, when you're doing it?
Okay, thank you for asking that to clarify. I'm using my right hand. And I don't know if you can see here, but the crystal, it like naturally sits in the palm of my hand. So wherever the crystal lands in the palm of your hand, it feels like a natural fit, as if you were putting on a glove. That's where it's desiring to be. Because then where this middle finger crosses over it, it's naturally crossing over that eye of the crystal. And if you just pulse this finger on the eye of the crystal, it actually activates that divine love frequency that the eye of the crystal has that access to. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, everybody can see that, and that makes it okay. So then once you've connected, that helps you to connect. Once you've cleared, charged, and connected, now you're ready to do the work. You hold the vision of what you're desiring. You take the deep breath in, holding that vision. The vision charges the breath. And when you exhale, it puts that into the crystal so that as you're working in the quantum and using your crystal, it's actually doing like a surgical type of procedure in the quantum to affect what you have envisioned and what you coded into your crystal. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. If you have any more questions about clarity around that, please do not hesitate to send me a message on the chat or to speak up. All right, so let me go back to the screen, to the slides. Okay, so this is the quantum quartz crystal technology that we're going to be working in the ceremony. And you'll be prompted, as I said. All right, so now I want to bring you back because it's important to be able to hold the big picture in terms of what's been happening and how we got to this place. So if you'll remember at the last Venus temple activation in August, I reminded you of this message that I received from Sophia in January, where she said that by the completion of installing the light codes in all of those Venus temples, and each time she's birthing through those chakras with us, she will have that our personal light grid will have been rewired to align with her, and that we will be holding an entirely new Christo-Sophionic light grid that has come online within our own bodies when we completed that last temple activation, which was in the New Orleans one at the Earth Star Chakra. Does everybody remember that work that we completed then? Okay, the reason this is relevant is because, and I'm going to take you back a couple of years to bring you forward and show you how it all ties in. And again, it's to give you this big picture understanding of where we are and what we're doing today. So we're currently in the Capricorn goddess Venus synodic cycle. And I've explained before how this entire project is aligned with this Capricorn goddess Venus synodic cycle. The goddess that was on the stage before this Capricorn cycle was the Gemini goddess. And at this same point of the Inanna Underworld phase, during the Gemini goddess synodic cycle, this is when Yeshua gave to me at the resurrection point in the Inanna Underworld cycle, this entire new template to replace the myth of Inanna that we had been using for this synodic cycle. And he specifically told me that this template that we would be using from that point forward is the second coming of Christ as the emergence of Sophia through humanity. And he showed me how the Sophia consciousness is here, the Christ consciousness is there. And as we move either downwards through the descent journey or upwards through the ascent journey, we are accessing this Sophia consciousness at the Earth Star from the root, sacral, and solar plexus, the three aspects, the Holy Trinity aspect of Sophia, the mother aspect, the daughter aspect, the Holy Soul aspect. In the heart, that's where you have the sacred union of them together. And then as we go up, throat, third eye, crown, again, the Holy Trinity of Christ, Holy Spirit, Son, Father, and at the soul star, Christ. So this template was given to me at this point, the resurrection point of the very last Venus synodic cycle, the Gemini goddess synodic cycle. That's important to know. Stepping backwards. Oh, well, hold on a second. While we were doing the Venus temple installations of the rose gold Christos Sophia light codes, I want to say it was April or May. Then Sophia took this template and showed me how we would be doing these strands of DNAs. And she showed me at the resurrection point, the third strand of DNA, at the root chakra activation, the fourth strand of DNA, and so forth. As we go through the ascent journey, we are activating another strand of DNA. And this takes us through the ascent journey and into the actual metamorphic underworld, where once again, Venus and Sun come together and we activate that last strand of DNA. Now, I want to show you that these dates here, these are the dates of the actual activations. When here, the Venus and Sun is together, through these, Venus and Moon is together, and up here, Venus and Sun is together in the sky. Those are the actual activation dates. Remember, we've shifted things this time. So we have a completely different schedule for the ceremonies. So if you haven't seen the ceremonial schedule in the newsletters, you can go out to my website, to the DNA-activations page, and that entire activation ceremony schedule is there. So I just want to bring into your awareness that the ceremony dates are not the same as the activation dates. And again, it's because we've got 4 collaborators and we needed a way to kind of streamline where I could pick, I think it's the 3rd Sunday of every month where we're doing this. Don't quote me on that, but anyhow, that was the intention at 3 o'clock. Okay, so just be aware. Ceremony dates are different than the activation dates, and that this information was given to me by Sophia. I think it was in April or May, as we were still installing codes in the Venus temples. Okay, now I can step back again. During the synodic cycle prior to the Gemini goddess, that's the Libra goddess synodic cycle, it was during the Inanna underworld phase. You see how this is tying together. We're in the Inanna underworld phase now. In the last Inanna underworld phase at the resurrection point, I got the template from Yeshua. In the previous Inanna underworld phase of the Libra relational goddess, this is where Maureen, who's on the call, Maureen, you want to unmute yourself and say hi so everybody can see you. Maureen?
Yeah, there, I got it. Playing with my mouse here. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I was with Sophia Mona Lisa in France with an amazing time. Yep.
Yes. So this is how that fell out. And it was not planned. It was synchronistic how it came together. In the Libra relationship goddess underworld journey, the resurrection point happened on August 13th at 21 degrees of Leo. We were in France from the 8th through the 16th. So on this upside after the resurrection point, and then that journey, the Inanna underworld journey, completed just 3 days after we got home on the 19th at 19 degrees of Libra. Where's our resurrection point today? 29 degrees of Libra. There's a tie-in. But more than that, when we were in France, the very second day that we were there, we went to the seat of Isis. And I experienced, and everybody there were 8 of us all together, experienced by sitting in the seat of Isis. It's a portal. It's a 5,000 plus year old stone chair that is a portal. And I experienced this multi-dimensional attunement, as did the other participants. They received their own attunements as well. This ties into what's happening now. It took me almost a year to find the words to describe what happened in that attunement. But in a blog post that I wrote on August 2nd, again, almost a year after that attunement, I understood that what happened as we sat in that portal is that we became the embodiments of the resurrected Christ in Sophia. And so here you see Yeshua and Magdalene as beloveds in conscious equal partnership with each other. And so what happened from that point forward, when we received that, what I was given the name of the archetype of divine creation, when we received that archetype of divine creation as the embodiments of the resurrected Christ in Sophia, all of my work and their work from that moment forward started to be guided by the Sophia Christ consciousness. This is significant because both Maureen and I, our birthdays are the day after each other. Our sun sign is Capricorn. We are way showers. The Capricorn sign is the way shower. We've been the way shower that have brought all of you along to this point where at the resurrection point that happened yesterday at 29 degrees of Libra, there was a yod in the sky, right? The finger of the goddess that come hell or high water. This is happening. This is destiny being manifested. Nothing can stop this from happening. And this is what it looks like. There's the sun and Libra, sun and Venus together at 29 degrees Libra. And all of this energy down here at the base is thrusting itself up here, along with these additional 3 aspects to the apex of this yod. And so what's happening within all of you is exactly what happened to us when we sat in the seat of Isis. And this is why the statement that Sophia said about at the end of that descent journey, when she had birthed through all of your chakras and your whole new Christos Sophia light grid within your body was now fully online, it had to be in order for this to occur with you at this 29 degrees of Libra. Remember, 29 degrees is the mastery point. Libra is the balance between the inner feminine and the inner masculine, conscious equal partnership. You all have now been activated to receive the divine creation archetype as we did, so that you now all have within you the resurrected Christ and the resurrected Sophia here in your heart center. And what this base is doing here as it's thrusting these energies up here is it's lighting the flame, right? It's the striking of the match to light the flame. And with this Jupiter energies here in Aries, right? The fire sign, it's taking the strike of that match and it's lighting the flame of your inner Christos Sophia, and Jupiter is expanding that flame from the strike of the match into a bonfire. That's the effect of what is happening within each and every one of you at this resurrection point. This is huge, absolutely huge. And it ties into the next Venus synodic cycle, which will come on the world stage after we've activated all 12 strands of DNA, the Leo goddess, the goddess of divine royalty. All of this has to unfold, and it is unfolding in perfect divine timing through each of you, as it did through us. And now all of us are the way showers, so that while this has been coded and it's there in the quantum, as others raise their frequency to align with these codes, they themselves can then start to embody this archetype of divine creation and hold the resurrected Christ and Sophia within their heart space and ignite the sacred flame of their own inner Christos Sophia. This is how significant, how potent the work that you ladies have been doing with me through this entire journey up from January to now is. So I'm just going to stop my share for a second because that's a lot to take in, and a lot might be coming into your mind right now. So if there's anybody that has anything that they need to speak to regarding what I've just shared, now is your chance to do that because that's huge.
I do,
Okay.
because as you were speaking, literally as you were speaking, let me know if you can see this. Can you guys see this caterpillar that doesn't even belong? It crawled on the camera. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's a yellow caterpillar. When you're talking, this caterpillar crawled into the camera. So I had to tell you, because I know caterpillars mean transformation, they mean change, metamorphosis. So the fact that this beautiful caterpillar crawled into our site, I wanted to share that because I wish you could see it because it's literally gorgeous.
Wow.
It's the color of the sun.
Wow. Thank you for that, Carol. Thank
It
you.
literally crawled on the camera.
Don't touch him though, Carol, because his stingers sting like mad.
Well, that's why I've got him on this little branch.
I know, good. I mean, I'm just saying, careful. I've been stung by him before and I was like, oh my God.
Actually, he was crawling on my hand, but I gave him something to eat, so he's cool. But I just wanted to share that because it's so seldom that you see this kind of sign come through.
Yes. Yes. Well, and remember what the resurrection point means. It's that phoenix rising from the ashes. It's renewal. It's regeneration. So yes, that is a very auspicious sign from the Christos Sophia, the Sophia Christ consciousness coming into our sacred circle to validate what we're sharing here. Thank you, Carol. Does anybody else have anything coming up around the depth and breadth and potency of what I've just shared with you? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my slides. All right. So we're going to go ahead before I establish sacred space and call in our collaborators, as I want to just guide you through this clearing, charging, and connecting with your crystal. So by the time, you know, we've established our space and we get to the temple, it's ready to rock and roll for you. Okay. So take your crystal, put your fingers on the tips, hold a pair of opposite facets, deep breath in, holding the intention, the thought, the vision of clearing. Deep, strong breath out. Shift to hold the next set of facets. Breathing in. Holding the vision, intention to clear. Strong exhale onto the crystal. Shift the crystal again to the next set of facets and do the same. And continue until you've done all the facets on your crystal. Now, I can tell you, you can use kinesiology as you're learning to work with your crystal in this way, to hold the crystal in front of your heart and stand up and just ask, is my crystal cleared? And if you start to feel yourself move forward, you'll have received the yes, that your crystal is cleared. So sometimes the lower mind tries to interfere in terms of doubt. Is it really working? Is this really happening? And so by using your own kinesiology to confirm that, yes, it's happened, it can help to calm the mind until you've practiced it enough, and you don't need to get that affirmation again. So now you want to charge your crystal. So holding it in your right palm, wherever it desires to just lay in your palm, and squeeze it and rotate it, squeeze it and rotate it, and still until you start to feel that sticky sensation. So your crystal should be charged, and wherever that middle finger is crossing it, start to pulse it on the eye of the crystal to activate that divine love frequency. You want to hold it in front of your heart chakra as you're pulsing it, and you can feel the entrainment between your heart center and the crystal. So this is the connection. So as we go into ceremony, and I'm describing how we're linking things up, et cetera, you can envision them, take the breath in to code it into your crystal. Okay. So now I'm going to establish sacred space. I claim this space for the Sophia Christ consciousness. I call in the cosmic Sophia, divine wisdom, and Mary Magdalene, the embodiment of Sophia. I call in the cosmic Christ, divine will, and Yeshua, the embodiment of Christ. I call in the Arcturian and Pleiadian star beings who have been working with us on this galactic new earth project. For each of us that are present here, and for those that will join us in the eternal now at some other date along the timeline, I call in our mentorship councils. I call in our galactic teams. I call in our spirit allies. I call in the Golden Hind as the guardian of this Venus temple in New Orleans. And again, for each of us and those that will be joining us in the eternal now, I ask the goddess Diana to place your full armor of spiritual protection and spiritual fortification upon us. So now that we've called in and created the sacred space, I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes and get comfortable. Make sure your feet and your hands are comfortable. Start to take the inhale, bringing that inhale down into your belly, allowing the inhale and the exhale to flow at whatever rate it's desiring to move through you. Taking another inhale down into your sacral chakra. Bringing in another inhale all the way down into your root chakra. Feeling that in-breath creates space within your pelvic floor. Bringing in another inhale past the root chakra down into the earth star chakra. With each inhale, you're creating more and more space within you. And with the next inhale, you want to feel yourself drop some roots from the earth star chakra down into the heart of Gaia, connecting with her. And as the inhale and the exhale flows through you, feeling the love of Gaia come up through those roots into your Earth Star chakra, into the root chakra, into the sacral chakra, into the solar plexus. With each inhale and exhale, that love continues to flow upward into your heart chakra, into your throat chakra, into your third eye chakra, into your crown chakra, all the way up into your soul star chakra. And now you want to consciously invite your stellar gateway to open as you connect with your divine eternal self and allow your divine eternal self, that is a fractal of that Sophia Christ consciousness, to now pour in through the stellar gateway, down through all of your chakras. Continuing with the inhale and the exhale. And when you feel fully connected above and below, we're going to use our etheric bodies to travel over to the Venus temple at New Orleans, behind the church of St. Louis, on the banks of the Mississippi River, where that Venus landscape temple makes that crescent moon shape. And when you find yourself on the banks of that crescent moon, you will see that we are there with you, that our Pleiadian and Arcturian brothers and sisters are there. They've been waiting for us to arrive. Take a moment to share your greetings and recognition of each other. It's been 2 months since we all met here. And now we all form a circle here on the banks of the Mississippi River at this crescent moon. And the golden hind comes out of the forest to greet us. And she weaves her way in and out between each of us in the circle to acknowledge the presence of each of us that are here together today. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to link up all 8 of the Venus temples. And I'm going to guide you from one to the next. So as I'm guiding you, just see the 8 of them being linked up together. We're starting with the Venus temple in Turkey. We're linking it to the Venus temple in Egypt. They are linking to the Venus temple in France. They are linked to the temple in Spain. They are now being linked up with the Venus temple in the Canary Islands. And we are linking them up to the Venus temple in Sedna. And now we link them to the Venus temple at Kauai in Hawaii. And we come full circle and link them all up to this Venus temple here in New Orleans. So in your mind's eye, see the light of each of these temples as they are connected one to the other. Take in the deep breath. Hold the intention that they are in fact linked up and connected. Allow that image to infuse your breath. And now the sharp exhale to put that into your crystal. So let's do that 2 more times. I'm going to allow you to do that on your own, to hold the vision with the deep inhale and then a sharp exhale to program your crystal with that intention. And now that we have linked up the 8 Venus temples and we have connected the rose gold Christos Sophia light codes in each of these temples, we are going to hold the vision and the intention that this new earth light grid is coming online now. So again, 3 times, take the deep inhale, hold the vision of bringing the light grid online, and the sharp exhale to program your crystal. And now that the crystal has been programmed with the temples linked up and the light grid online, point your crystal at the palm of your left hand. Move it however you're feeling guided to move it. And you will feel, you can pulse that eye of the crystal, activating that divine love frequency. You will feel that surgical precision of what you have created in the quantum field. You will feel the energy of it within your left palm. Knowing that we are working in the quantum field, which is that unified source field. So what we do with our own selves, we do for the whole. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the intention that we are connecting the 3rd strand of DNA within our physical bodies, our sacred vessel that has been turned off, disconnected from the 3rd strand of DNA that is still active and online in our divine template. And we're going to hold the intention that the strand in our sacred vessel is now reconnected to the strand in our divine template, and that the strand within our sacred vessel is being reactivated and coming online from the strand that's in our divine template. So again, 3 times, you're going to hold the vision and the intention of that reconnection and activation process between your 3rd strand of DNA and your sacred vessel and your divine template, to charge the in-breath, and then the deep exhale to charge your crystal. So 3 times, here we go. Deep inhale. Once again, pulse the eye of your crystal to activate that love frequency. Hold the Christ end or point the Christ end of your crystal towards the palm of your left hand. However, you're inspired to move the crystal from your right hand to feel the frequency of what you have just created. Feeling the energy, the frequency of it within your left palm. Keep pulsing. The more you pulse the eye of the crystal, the stronger that frequency will feel in the palm of your left hand. So at this time, I invite Maria to share her song that will be further activating this and embodying it within us.
Awakening, awakening to a new way of being. More love, more love in every cell of you. You are holding more love. You are walking the mastery, the mystery of life. So shine the light of love through you. Be like a cosmic diamond. Shine the light through. Be like a cosmic diamond. And bring hope and love and light through being you.
So we all bow in appreciation to Maria. And before you travel back, the Golden Hind approaches each of you with a special message. Also in appreciation for the work that we've done here at this Venus temple in New Orleans. And when you have received the message from the Golden Hind, take a moment to embrace your fellow Pleiadians and Arcturians in deep appreciation for their participation on behalf of humanity and Gaia. And when you're ready, you can travel through your etheric body back to where you are sitting in your home space. Allow yourself plenty of time to settle into your sacred vessel. And in your own time, very gently, wiggling your fingers and toes, very gently, when you are able to open your eyes. Be sure to drink plenty of water once you're fully present to help your sacred vessel integrate these frequencies. You are embodying more of your multidimensional self than you have ever embodied before on this planet. So be gentle as your body adjusts to hold these new frequencies. You're having challenges opening your eyes, drinking the water will facilitate that process. So for me personally, this is really intense because what I'm feeling and experiencing is very similar to what I experienced when I stepped down from the seat of Isis. So allow yourself whatever you need, because this is may take a while for your mind to re-engage with this space. So we're going to go into the sharing circle. I'm going to stop the share for the sharing circle. And before we start the share, I just have to tell you, Maria, that my body was like shaking from the frequencies of the music, the song, the sound of your voice. It was, all I can say is it was like being in the seat of Isis again. It's the only way I know how to relate to it. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
So this is the time to share. I know your minds may not be able to find the words for you to share, and it's still an integral part of the process. So Gina, I'm going to ask you if you will do us the honor of starting. Whatever it was that you experienced that you would like to put words around, please feel free to do that now.
Just really, for me, very comfortable. And then Maria did her song, which I still have chills. It was just so beautiful. And then as we came out and you had, I don't know what you had on the screen, but you had some different things. And I want to say you had to like the altar in the cathedral, and then on the bottom right was a bunch of, it looked like a bunch of 1,000-petaled lotuses or something like that. And inside that is, in the very center of it was something white with like, looks like a cross of something. It just seemed to pulsate for me. I feel really comfortable. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And thank you all for being here, because it's just, I just feel really good. I feel my eyes are watering, I mean, I don't know that I'm actually crying, but my eyes, my eyes are dry all the time, but I've got a lot of liquid in there, which I don't generally have, but it just feels really, really good. And thank you so very much, Sophia, for holding this. And of course, you know, New Orleans is home for me. That's where I was born and raised. So seeing some of that, I was trying to figure out, well, where's the statue of where's the statue of Andrew Jackson? Then I realized that he's on the other side of it, taking the picture of the cathedral. Who knew? Who knew, that would be a temple in New Orleans? But thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for offering the invitation to participate.
Thank you, Gina.
Oh, you're welcome.
And just for those of you that are having the tears come, and I'm experiencing that too, this is what we call bhakti tears. These are tears of devotion. It's a manifestation of that love frequency that's moving through you. Helen, would you like to go next?
Sure. Okay, well, golly, guys, the Golden Hind is sort of one of my spirit guides or something like that, you might say. And so when we were linking up the temples, he asked me to get on his back. And every time we would go to a temple, he would like rear up and then we'd activate the crystal and all that stuff. Anyway, so it was pretty darn cool and really interesting. And then when you asked him to go around, I told him I thought I should get off so that he could go greet everybody else. And so that's what happened.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you. Maureen.
Oh, Sophia Mona Lisa, I was taken back to the seat of Isis as well. And while I know there was a download, I was not aware of it. I did have help from who we called Asmodeus, and a male figure that has, I think, been maligned for a long time. And we began to think of Asmodeus as the bringer or the way shower, showing us the path. And so that energy assisted me a great deal during that time. And I've been really experiencing the opening up of the sacral chakra. When I was born into this life, I was pretty shut down from all of my past experiences, and I came to clear all of that. And it started, I prepared most of my life to do that, but it didn't truly begin until France. And my message from the Golden Hind was, you are whole. And that's what I've been working so much towards. And Sophia Mona Lisa knows my heart and has helped me so much through this. And the beautiful song, Maria Hart's song, just opened my heart that had been so shut down and so guarded. And I just am so grateful for all of this. And it is now going forward a new and different me. And there is no turning back. I am whole.
Wow. This is huge. I hope, Maureen, you don't mind me sharing. Maureen and I have been working with the Venus Synodic Cycle for several, this is our third synodic cycle. She's been working with it longer than me. And she has been having challenges with letting herself put down the breastplate that was covering her heart chakra. And so what I'm hearing is that finally, with the assistance of Maria's song and the frequencies of all the work that we've done, that breastplate is no longer necessary, that you feel safe in letting it lay down and opening that space.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yes. I have laid it down and I'm open now, and I have no fear of it. I have no fear of being hurt. It is an amazing time. I am so grateful.
Thank you, Maureen,
Thank
for
you.
allowing yourself to be that vulnerable with us, because I know what it's taken for you to complete that.
And I thank you. You've been with me every inch of the way.
Well, you're my soul sister. What can I do?
There you are. Can't walk away.
Cannot walk away. That's right. Rebecca, how about you?
Hi, everybody. Sophia, thank you for always having this. This is like the highlight of my month. I tend to sometimes have difficulties connect. Like, I know I'm there, but I don't sometimes see or feel it. And it's funny because I received 2 new crystals this week, and I wasn't too thrilled about the one that I had. And the Vogel that I had, is the person wrapped it, and I don't like the wrapping, so I didn't want to use that. And I was just kind of like, then this just kind of stuck in my hand, and I was like, all right, we're going to use this one. And it has a huge key in it too. But when we were doing, I could really feel it amping, and with each one getting stronger. And it was funny because I never knew what that stickiness was. When I clear my other things, I guess I just intuitively do it and wasn't sure what I was doing, and now I know. So thank you. So that really helped. My hands are still breaking out, by the way, but not as bad. Actually, they broke out today. So that was really nice. And Maria, your song was very, I was present, somewhat, because I'm not always present. I feel like I'm here, but I'm not. And the vividness of every shade of purple imaginable, just really like, and it was just like all around my head and all around my face and just all upper. And it was again, like you were saying, with the frequency, it was like kind of a little pulsating and such. So that was really beautiful. And Carol, before we had walked in, I was rushing, so I apologize for being late. I was coming in and I almost stepped on a very large praying mantis. And so I just thought the irony of that when Carol mentioned the caterpillar. I was like, oh, okay. This is really good. So that was the start of right before I sat down at my computer. So that was really nice. And all day yesterday and today, up until this, right about here, just constant pulsing, constant pressure, just like download, and it was just nonstop. And I was fortunate to go for a beautiful walk at the falls by my house yesterday. And when you said the finger, in my pictures, there is a line up in the sky in several of them. And I had a lot of teal blue little entities with us, which was kind of neat now that I'm thinking about what was going on. So yeah, so yesterday, today, and there's a lot going on with me, so I'm just trying to stay present with all of it. And as usual, I kind of fall asleep a little when we're doing this. I'm kind of in and out. So it was very, very enlightening to know that we've done one cycle, or I've done one cycle with you, and to have as many women here today to connect with was, I felt more energy today. Not so much my emotional stuff, but group conscious energy. So that was really nice.
Wonderful.
So that's where I'm at. So thank you, as always. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Maria, it's your turn to share.
Wow. Powerful experience. And just before you called on me, I was out someplace. So, and I also feel that I have prepared for this. Some of what you're sharing it's like my conscious mind doesn't really understand it, but I have done a couple of energetic practices to call back the divine masculine and the divine feminine, 2 practices, one for each. Normally I don't do both of them at the same day, but these last 3 days I've been inspired to do both of them, and I understand now why.
Yes.
Yeah, that sacred union.
Yes.
And of course a blessing to share whatever was wanting to come through for all of us through my voice. And thank you so much for receiving.
Yes. Just my body is still like vibrating from the light of the frequencies that your voice activated in us. It's just, I can't find the words to describe the potency of that light. I just can't. It's just, I don't know. Every word that comes to my mind sounds trite. So there you go. Thank you again. Carolina Grace.
Helps when you unmute, doesn't it? It was an amazing, different experience, and I think it brought through what I am going to feel called to share. So for me, I became a crystal. I became the crystal. And I've never had that experience before. I was at the center. I was the heart of the crystal. I was the integration, that central pivotal point. And I could see the different frequencies and energies and colors around me. But I was it. And what that really brought forward for me is the fact that we're all now becoming crystalline in form. So whilst we will hold crystals, we will use crystals, we are the crystal. And at the center and at that pivotal point that you talk about as the integration of the masculine and the feminine, of course, is our heart center. So the two are, representative one of the other. So I mean, my message was wear ribbons in your hair and shine, 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 which sounded very frivolous, but from the hind, the golden hind. But for me, it was about just embodying that higher frequency and living from that space. And what I hear from all of you is this amazing flow of feelings and the difficulty we now seem to all have in articulating the different nuances of feelings and potencies and strengths and complexities of emotions and feelings that we're now embodying, and how do we use the old language that we've learned? How do we use that to formulate that, to bring that forward with the new experiences that we're having? And so, excuse me, I'm sort of flipping between my experience and what I picked up from listening to everybody. I would like to invite everybody to think about, as we're becoming more crystalline in form, how is that affecting our own bodily experiences and the expressions that we have, our own emotional expressions, and those that we're having through the heart. Because as I listen to you all, you're all talking very powerfully about the embodied experiences, and we are now leading from that heart space. And you know, as Maria very potently shared through her voice, we are all resonating with that frequency through the body, through the heart. And we are failing to find the words to express how that is impacting us. So I invite you all to maybe consider how that crystalline form is now affecting your embodied experience, how that's impacting your ability to lead with the heart, how that is helping you lead more with the heart and integrate with the head, because we default to our head automatically. But how is that now? How can you subtly feel that difference of how you're now leading with a more crystalline, imbued, higher frequency heart? Because that is what we're all in gradually embodying. So for me to become the crystal immediately was, aha, this is what I'm here to maybe share as part of our experiences, that we are that resonant crystal, becoming more and more as we leave our carbon form behind. And how can we, with that conscious awareness, how can we further embrace, embody, and express that in our daily lives, as well as in our spiritual practices and our causes and missions as we go forward in our everyday moments. So that for me is what's come forward. So excuse me, I'm kind of mixing everything, but that's typical for me. But yeah, I just feel like we are just all such resonant crystals, all vibrating at different frequencies, according to what we're doing and being, and on what's coming forward that we need to express ourselves through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Carolina Grace. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to share.
Yeah. So we have Carol yet to share her temple experience. Carol, are you still there? I see you kind of popping in and out. Carol? I wonder if she lost her connection. Because actually the next piece is her piece to do to do the channeling of Isis. I'm telling you, there's so many frequencies pouring through here. I'm not surprised there's a connection issue. Let me just say real quickly, in case anybody hasn't seen it yet, there are some beautiful comments in the chat, so you may want to open those to view them. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And as I said, normally this would be the part for Carol to do her message from Isis. So what we'll do, I guess, to keep things flowing is we'll move on and allow Carolina Grace to open the space with these very interesting contemplative questions about how we feel ourselves embodying that crystalline structure and how it's influencing our ability to lead from the heart. And it is a conversation, so I'm going to stop my share and allow anybody who had anything come up around those questions that Carolina Grace was posing. And I don't know if you want to give a prompt at this time, Carolina Grace, for everybody to speak to in terms of maybe it, you know, what's coming up for me is, because I'm having a hard time finding the words, which is what you mentioned, in terms of how the frequencies of Maria's song and voice, how I was feeling them and experiencing them, and how my body was responding to it in this very rapid vibration that I could feel moving. And so it makes me wonder if that rapid vibration that was responding to her voice is actually the manifestation of my own crystalline structure that I, prior to this moment, have not been conscious of before. And so I just offer that out there as it feels true. But had you not posed the question, Carolina Grace, I wouldn't have made the connection. So I'm just going to invite everybody to unmute their microphones, and, you know, let's take a few minutes to have a completion around how you're experiencing your own crystalline structure, how your crystalline structure is facilitating your ability to move in a heart-led way, and possibly even did your crystalline structure reverberate in response to Maria's voice as mine did. So whomever would like to share, go ahead.
I was just thinking that it would be time for me, because it's not something I do on a regular basis, would be to journal about this experience. I find lately, over the last week or so, that I need to, I sleep more. I take little naps during the day. Helen is over there grinning. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that I believe that when I'm doing that, I'm trying to integrate the different things that my body is going through. I don't have any desire to really eat much of anything. I don't know what to eat. You know, yogurt and some fruit, maybe. These little True North almond cluster little snackies are just absolutely divine. And then when I eat something, then my stomach gets upset. I have a cast iron stomach. I'm from New Orleans. You know, we eat all kind of spicy food and stuff, but it's like nothing agrees with me too much anymore. And so I'm going to have to start journaling to write some of this down and see. But I'm thinking that's what's happening, because I'm just not satisfied with a lot of things anymore. It's like nothing is what it used. Nothing is like what it used to be. And I know it's not supposed to be. You know, I mean, we're not the same today as we were yesterday. So, I mean, but it's like the growth just seems to be accelerating. And I'm one of those people, as I'm also a Leo. So that's, you know, one of those things is I'm not a very patient individual. So it's like, hurry up, let's get it over with, because I'm done, you know. But it's like, I've been also thinking about all this debris that I have in the backyard from when Ian decided to come visit us. And it's just tree branches and stuff like that. I'm going, wow, I got a lot of stuff here to make a fire. I could make a fire pit back there, you know, because when you do things around a fire burns off the negativity of the fourth dimension and stuff. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, that might be something to do. So those are the things that I've been working through myself. And I don't know who we've lost Carol. We've lost a couple of people. I'm looking here. I'm going, I don't know. iPhone is gone. I don't know who iPhone was, but she's not here anymore.
That was Carol. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gina. That was Carol, and I haven't received any text messages from her, so I'm not really sure what's happened with her.
Oh, well, because Carol was labeled as Carol, but there's another person there. We had 10 of us here.
Oh, I didn't realize that. My apologies.
No, that's okay. No, it's not a problem. I just noticed I'm going, we're down to 8. Okay. But 8's a good number. you know, so that's just what I think. That's just something that kind of came to my mind, is like, okay, Spirit's saying, okay, you need to be writing stuff down. You need, whether it makes sense or not, you need to write it down. So that's what I got, you know, from a lot of things. And again, I'm in awe. I mean, it's still I'm comfortable, but that I need more sleep. I take little naps during the day now.
So this is fascinating to hear you say, Gina, and I know Helen's been having this experience. I've been having the experience as well, where I'm unable to get through the day. I'll do a big thing and then I have to lay down and rest. And then I get up and I do the next piece and I lay down. And so I'm also throughout the day laying down, recharging is the word that's coming to me. I see Maureen shaking her head, apparently having the same experience. I guess my question to you, Carolina Grace, because this is your space for this heart-led conversation, is that a manifestation of this crystalline body that we're transitioning to, and that it has its own frequency, which is a different frequency than the carbon body, and that we're integrating? Is this why we're being required to do this? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, firstly, I would not like to put myself up as a professional who can hand on heart, honestly, scientifically or esoterically answer that question. However, it would appear to me that with the higher frequencies coming through that are encoded, you know, cosmological light is light encoded with information, and it is affecting our physical structure, then yes, I would imagine that it is highly likely that we are integrating. We need the rest time, our body, like during night, you know, that is when our body repairs and restructures itself. And with this extra stress on our physical body, as we're being asked, I mean, many of us are experiencing a lot more pain, joint issues, digestive issues, etc., as a consequence of our body being stressed by making that massive shift from carbon to crystalline. So, you know, our bodies are under tremendous stress. So it makes a lot of sense that one would imagine we do need that extra downtime in order for our bodies to cope and upgrade, because that's what we're doing. We're becoming more sensitive. And that's why I think it's fascinating that we might be using crystals as tools, but what happens when we are? We are the full embodied version of that tool. We are that crystal ourselves. And how does that impact the way we feel and express ourselves? And it's so subtle because it's all shifting all the time. And it is our heart, of course, that actually governs the rest of the organs, the physical organs in the body. And we have the brain neurons in the heart as well as in the gut. So I just think it's fascinating. And as Gina was saying, let's just notice what's going on. And if it helps to journal, then that's fantastic. But I think by posing that question consciously to ourselves every day, what is different about myself today in the way I'm reacting, responding, feeling? And I think so many of us are having so much difficulty articulating how we're feeling because the words just don't match the feelings anymore.
Right.
We need new language.
Right. And as you were describing that, I was just receiving that I mean, I was told we're reconnecting, we're reactivating these strands of DNA. Okay, yeah, I just do what I'm told to do.
Yeah.
And while you were speaking, I was receiving the understanding that bringing those 12 strands of DNA back online is a part of this whole crystalline body being able to form itself fully within us.
Absolutely. Yes, because I mean, if it all happened at once, we'd disintegrate. So yes, I mean, we have to manage the process is being managed for us, but certainly it has to occur step by step.
Right. And so I just want to ask Maria, because I'm very curious about this. When I was describing how my body was reverberating in response to the frequency of your voice, did it sound authentic to you, that I was picking up that that was my own crystalline structure responding in that way to your voice?
I don't understand the question. Can you, what did you
Okay.
say? Did it sound authentic?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
it sounded like you really meant what you were saying.
so that's not the word I'm desiring to
Okay.
use.
Okay.
Did it sound like an accurate reflection of what I was experiencing? That my crystalline body was reverberating in response to the frequency of your voice. Hold on.
Mm.
That's interesting that I just got this tickle as I'm describing that.
Yes. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around this thing with the crystalline body. I know that we are changing, but I don't know enough to really understand this. But what I do understand was that something was activated within you through the voice. And yeah.
That's okay. I didn't intend to
Yeah.
put you on the
No.
spot. I just know that, because you do activations with people through your voice, that maybe they've had similar responses to your voice, and maybe they've shared, what they are receiving, that manifestation is related to.
I've not had that response in that way before. But people have been, teary eyes and being really moved, but this was a powerful response you had.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it feels really authentic.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Carolina Grace, for posing those contemplative questions around how our new crystalline bodies are starting to show up, and how we're experiencing that, and how it's influencing us in terms of how we're desiring to engage at that from that heart-led space.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, and the heart is, whether it's the physical compassionate heart or the heart as the portal, our innate portal, I call it our ultimate resource. It reconnects us to source, and it is our reception from source. So it's our ultimate resource. So whether we're using the heart in our physical capacity, or whether it's in that divine esoteric capacity, it's just fabulous how everybody is now expressing themselves from that space.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And we'll continue to contemplate and see what shows up within each of us. So I'm very disappointed that Carol isn't here to share her message from Isis. I will connect with her afterwards, and it may be that she and I will record a message from Isis that I can share separately later, or she may journal a message from Isis. So somehow or another, that will be coming. I'm sure it will be forthcoming, and just as a separate offering outside of this recording. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. All right. So at this point, we have the opportunity to have one last, I'm sorry, I'm having such a hard time finding my words. I'm so, my mind is having a hard time engaging. I just apologize for that. So this is your final opportunity. If anything is coming up within you around anything that we've discussed, anything we've shared, anything that you personally experienced, that is desiring to be witnessed, that is desiring for you to give a voice to it, just desiring clarification. This is the space.
May I just quickly speak to your experience and say that please no apologies are necessary, because we're shifting from the brain to our embodiment and our feelings. And so it's natural that that should be an experience that you're having. So I think that's a perfect expression of how you are embodying, and we're moving towards telepathy where we don't need language. So just take that away from you, if you'll permit me.
Well, thank you for allowing the space for that. I'm very appreciative. Maureen, oh, go ahead, Rebecca.
Sophia, so when I do healings with the singing bowls and different things with myself and or with other people, what you experience with Maria to me is just, to me, completely natural. like doesn't everybody? You know, like so I think that it just, where you're, like you said, where you're at, it just resonated to the point where you were like Carolyn Grace was saying, with that being that crystalline part of you, just, you know, and like obviously with the not being able to connect your words, I mean, it's still like that vibration is still bouncing off inside of you in such a beautiful way, I think, for sure. And I noticed that, I don't know, for me, I find that I go from being very centered and very clear and very okay, to opposite of Gina, wanting to stuff my face with everything that I know is not good for me, not having issues with, and then like 2 weeks ago wanting nothing but salad. So I'm finding that, like what you were, I was saying with your vibration being like it is, that I'm all over the place. So I'm structured, centered, and focused 1 minute and completely off later. I wish I could get my naps in, but I can't. And then I kind of sabotage and stay up late doing not stupid, but unhealthy choices, where I know I should be doing healthier choices. So I'm kind of everywhere. I'm up, I'm down, I'm in, I'm out. And Caroline, that, I mean, I've been working with crystals for years, and I've never put that thought into my own self. So thank you for being that crystalline being myself and radiating with my crystals, and this pulsing in my head right now is just like so overwhelming. But yeah, like even you can hear in my conversation, I'm up, I'm down, I'm here, I'm there, I'm all over. So yeah, I'm gonna look at the crystals and myself in my growth as different. And I noticed too, I was drumming more lately, which I haven't done. Just wanting maybe that vibration, Sophia, you know, like feeling that, I don't know. And I'm usually not a drummer, so.
Can I hop in here again? You know why cats purr, don't you? Because the purring is the vibration, gives them a healing element. So people say, well, why is my cat purring whilst it's dying? Or, you know, it's just been hit by a car. Because they have this natural inclination to create that internal vibration, which offers that healing energy to support them during those times of stress. So it's not just about pleasure. They've learned that it actually supports their immune system. And by the way, ditto to being all over the place and doing all sorts of unhealthy things. I think I think many of us, well, from what I hear, you know, it's just the energies are all sort of throwing us all over the place. So we have to keep coming back to center. So sorry, I just want to say that bit about the cats.
Okay.
Well, I find that fascinating, Carolina Grace, because I do not have Maria's gift. Nobody wants me to sing. Speaking of that, I sound like a cat who's had its tail rocked on. And so not being able to enjoy my voice in that harmonious, pleasing, healing, uplifting way. As you were describing the purring of the cat and how it creates that healing frequency, I felt like deep within me, like a wound got touched when you said that. And so it makes me wonder now what's going to start to unfold through me with my own voice because of the activation that Maria's voice catalyzed, and that this understanding that you just shared around the purring function of the cat also enables me to embrace my voice from a different perspective, in terms of not just singing to entertain as most people do, but in terms of using my voice in that healing way. Because as much as I love music, I am not musical. So this isn't, as we're starting to go into these higher frequencies, this is, as we cannot find the words to translate the frequencies, the music, I think, will be a way in which we start to communicate. What do you think, Maria? Has that come up for you?
I just want to applaud you for your vulnerability and say what I say over and over again to the women in my community and my clients, and that is that your voice is the most healing, creative voice for you. So each and every one of you, each and every one of us, our voice is a portal to healing and to creation. So, and many people don't like their voices because of what they have been hearing early on in life, or something that has happened. And it's a shame because our voices are so powerful. So if I were you, I would take this as an opportunity to really come to love your voice. And I had a year where I didn't sing for anyone else but me, and I used that time to really direct the voice to the body and like use the voice to express emotions, and it really is a very powerful tool we have in our voices. So it's not about singing to sound good. It's about the vibration that your voice is creating in your body, in your cellular structure. So you have an exciting adventure ahead of you, making peace with that voice.
I mean, I am totally blown away. I would have never been able to conceive that this whole experience would go down this particular path and lead us to here. And it's a perfect unfolding. And so again, I just want to thank Carolina Grace and Maria and Carol, who's not with us, for being collaborators in this ceremonial process. And because I took up more time than I intended, and I really wanted to give the rest of you an opportunity to speak. If there's anything, Helen, Rebecca, Maureen, Gina, that is really desiring to be witnessed, that you'd like to give a voice to, please use this time right now, very quickly before we move on. Okay.
Just to speak. It was great. Good to see everybody, and we're getting there. And also, it's very good to be quiet and silent. It's equal.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sophia,
Yes.
Mona Lisa, could I just say something briefly here?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly. I just wanted to thank Gina for bringing up the food issues, because I have been experiencing that for weeks now, where nothing tastes good anymore to me, and the foods that I love just don't give me much pleasure, and so I'm looking at maybe cleaner eating or different foods or something like that. That would make sense with a higher vibration in my body. So I very much appreciate Gina bringing that up. And also whoever brought in the praying mantis, thank you, because that's my soul guide. And so I very much appreciate her being in this space. And that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca, for bringing in the praying mantis.
Yes, thank you.
It was there for Maureen and for the rest of us that connect with that medicine. So I just want to let you know, as I mentioned earlier in the recording, we are still in this Inanna underworld. We've hit that resurrection point yesterday, and now Venus will start to pull up, but she's still in the underworld. And so in November, while we're still in the underworld, we are going to have a gathering on November 20th, which is a Sunday at 3 p.m. To do another support circle like we did last month. And the Lady of the Cave will be there for that one again. So it's not until December 1st that Venus rises as evening star, and that marks the completion of this underworld journey and the beginning of the ascent journey. So just want to remind you of that. And then finally, just want to say thank you to all of you for spending all of this time. I know it's been a 2-hour journey, and we haven't had a 2-hour journey in the past, but with 4 collaborators, it is going to take a little bit longer. And I think it's very rich to be able to have this sacred space and sharing with each other. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart for participating and sharing and helping us. We've brought that New Earth Light Bridge online. It's there to facilitate humanity as each individual person starts to raise their frequencies and starts to navigate from the 3rd density into the 4th and 5th densities and beyond. We have completed that, and that is a huge soul contract that you have kept and completed, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that for us and for humanity and for Gaia herself. So until next month, just keep doing your sacred work is all I can say. I appreciate all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.